I'm Vicki Hogarth, and this is a NewsBreak26 special report. The provincial government is launching a series of walk-in COVID-19 mobile vaccination clinics this week, two of which will be in Charlotte County, one in St. Andrews and one in Blacks Harbour. Joining me to discuss this is Chief Medical Officer of New Brunswick, Dr. Jennifer Russell. Thank you for being here today, Dr. Russell.
Oh, you're very welcome, Vicki.
I'm excited about the walk-in vaccine mobile clinics taking place this week. Can you tell me a little bit about what inspired the idea?
Well, we know, Vicki, that unvaccinated people are at the highest risk of getting COVID-19 and having severe outcomes. So we really wanted to find more ways to make sure that there were great opportunities and accessibility for people to get vaccinated in communities throughout the province.
I know one of them is taking place in St. Andrews on Thursday. I'll be getting my second dose there. So just for clarity, you can go for a first or second dose, and what do you need to bring with you?
Well, you have to have your Medicare card, and if you're getting your second dose, you should have your vaccine record of your first dose.
Okay. And in terms of mixing vaccines, I know that Moderna is going to be given exclusively at the walk-in clinics. What do you say to people who might be concerned about efficacy and mixing Pfizer, Moderna, or AstraZeneca, Moderna?
So we get our recommendations from NACI, the National Advisory Committee on Immunizations, and the interchangeability of the mRNA vaccines, Pfizer and Moderna, is completely acceptable. They are equivalent in terms of efficacy. They are equivalent in terms of side effects and similar contraindications. The good news about having different products that you can mix and match is if somebody did have a contraindication or a reaction to the first dose, then you have options for the second one for sure. And because we're trying to get people vaccinated as quickly as possible during this rollout so we can get to our path to green and protect as many people as possible, again, the interchangeability just gives us more flexibility with respect to organizing and coordinating and planning our clinics to make sure that we're not missing a beat in terms of as the doses come in, they can get them into arms without any break in the timeline.
I know you've touched on this before, but is there any early research that suggests mixing vaccine could potentially provide a stronger immune response?
Well, certainly there is some evidence that shows that. It's not clear how long that particular immunity lasts in terms of that boost, but we do know that the efficacy and the immunity can be improved with mixing certainly AstraZeneca with an mRNA vaccine for your second dose.
In terms of people who are under 18 at this point right now, are they just able to get Pfizer, so these clinics wouldn't necessarily apply to that age group?
So correct. Right now, Pfizer is the one that's approved for 12 to 17-year-olds. So the clinics that have Moderna would be for people 18 and over.
And what should people expect that do go to the walk-in clinics? Do you have an idea of the timeline and what the atmosphere will be like?
So with respect to the way that I have heard a lot of different vaccine clinics have been working in terms of walk-in, it's very smooth flowing. I have heard very positive feedback from people that have gone to different clinics. And so I think if you do have to stand in a line, obviously if the weather's poor, then make sure you have an umbrella. And if it's hot, make sure you have some water.
And what is the latest numbers in terms of how New Brunswick is doing as far as the vaccine rollout goes? Are we on schedule?
We are doing so well with our rollout. Let me just give you the numbers for today. As of today, 41.6% of New Brunswickers aged 12 and older are fully vaccinated, and 78.5% have received their first dose of a COVID-19 vaccine. So those are excellent numbers. We are tracking very well at the moment. So thank you to all New Brunswickers for stepping up and rolling up your sleeves.
Are you seeing New Brunswickers going for their second dose just as easily as they went for their first dose?
Absolutely. Every time that clinics are being offered, they're filling up. We have people registering online. Pharmacies that are offering vaccines are also having their appointments filled up. So It's going really well. We don't want to miss anybody. So that's the other reason, again, for having pop-up clinics, mobile clinics. It's really important for accessibility so that everyone who hasn't had a chance to get their first dose yet does have that opportunity. If there were barriers like trying to book online or transportation, please help and encourage your friends and family and loved ones to get vaccinated. And if they need help, sometimes people just need somebody to go with them. They want some company. They want somebody to drive them. There are some issues, even people that are afraid of needles. There are areas where you can go in the clinics that are a bit more private, so you don't have to have your fear of needles displayed to others. So there's a privacy component there.
I know we've set New Brunswick Day, August 2nd, as our phase 3 goal. Is there any chance we might meet that goal sooner?
Absolutely. I think there's different people on the internet, on Twitter. I see people posting what their projections are. So based on the capacity that we have, based on the number of doses, we have enough to get everybody vaccinated at that level by that time frame. Again, it's great to see so many people stepping up. It is the summer. People want to take vacations, et cetera, but they're making it a priority to get vaccinated, and that is key to getting further down our path to green. And it's just really encouraging to see.
Are the low numbers that New Brunswick is seeing in terms of new cases of COVID-19 proof that the vaccine is working?
Well, that's what our data is showing across the country. We're showing that, as the percentage of the population gets vaccinated, those numbers are coming down. It's quite dramatic. I was talking to somebody the other day, and I think in May, the average case count per day across Canada was around 8,000. We're now under 1,000. I think it's around 600 and something. So that's very dramatic in terms of what's happening across the country. But it also bodes well for the Atlantic provinces, because we've always been a reflection, a much smaller proportion, albeit, of what's happening elsewhere in the country. So the risk of importation of a case from elsewhere in Canada is much lower now.
I appreciate your time today. What are your final words for people who are either on the fence or just haven't gotten around to getting a vaccine?
There are many, many, many things to consider when people are making personal choices about protecting their own health. But when you get vaccinated, you're not just protecting yourself. You are protecting your loved ones, your community members, your colleagues, your classmates, etc. So think about it as something that you can do not just for yourself, but also for others.
All right. Well, thank you for the time, and I look forward to my second dose on Thursday behind Sheriff Andrews' house in St. Andrews. Thanks, Dr. Russell. That was Dr. Jennifer Russell, Chief Medical Officer of New Brunswick. Now, the reason the Moderna vaccine is being used at the mobile clinics is because it is more portable and doesn't require the same cold storage temperatures as the Pfizer vaccine. The two clinics taking place in Charlotte County this week will be Thursday in St. Andrews behind Sheriff Andrews' house between 8:30 and 1 p.m. and in Blacks Harbour on Friday at the Fundy Arena between 9:30 and 4 p.m. I'm Vicki Hogarth, and this has been a NewsBreak26 special report.
This has been a news and public affairs production of CHCO-TV, New Brunswick's only source for independent community television.